birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Starbase 1552 Comics. We sell everything a collector would want. Comics, Funkos, action figures, and so many more. A real American comic book shop. We are online only. Starbase 1552 Comics. Find us on eBay Auctions.
Folks, welcome to the cornfields of Iowa Speedway for the Veterans for Life ARCA series here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. I am the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. We got Dean Biggles, the Australian, from down under, however you want to look at it right there, Dean. But the Australian from down under is going to be giving you these awesome camera angles here this evening. Also doing a little bit co-commentating with me. Dave, we're at Iowa, a short track. Beautiful, beautiful short track, and there you see it. Basically, he's on a winning streak right now, folks. Andy Kurtz is up here. He goes back-to-back, winning at Gateway last week, won at Daytona 2 weeks ago in the very first race here for the Veterans for Life ARCA Series. We already went through qualifying. We're getting it all lined up, and look who's on the pole. Some of you folks on the Thursday night series when it was the Truck Series last season will remember this name. Trevor McManus is going to be on the pole. He was one of the big-time big dogs in that Truck Series. He's going to lead them to the green flag here tonight. Right beside of him, Jake Ellingson, who was pretty much, he pretty much could have actually got Andy Kurtz last week had unfortunate circumstances not happen with Jake. But he's going to roll off P2 tonight, and obviously back-to-back trying to go for the three-peat in the number 8. That's Andy Kurtz. He will start third, ironically going for the three-peat. Jamie Mullins will start fourth. Brandon Wallace will start fifth, with Wesley Lynch will start in 6th. Tanner Bethay, after I got corrected last week, will start in the 7th spot. Doug Ellingson going to be up here in 8th. Good qualifying effort from Mr. Ellingson, Mr. Doug. John Anthony will start 9th. Dustin Hardy will start in the 10th spot. Then you got Johnny Colefield will start in 11th. Jason Kraft will be 12th. Colton Lanford will be 13th with Chance Taylor 14th. Jeremiah Holt 15th. Mark Hollifield will be 16th with James Goshen in 17th. Brian Abbott will be 18th. Matt Knights will be 19th. Then Eric Talent will round out the top 20. James Haney, Jamie Perkins. The last drivers in this 22-car field, 100 laps here tonight at Iowa with this ARCA Series. And Dean, we're getting ready to do some short track racing tonight.
Welcome back, of course. Yes, exactly. As Ray was out there and saying, well, we'll do just fine, thank you very much. Mate, we're her 2 favorites. Well, I hope her favorites is Jake, currently running in a P2. And where is the other one? Dougie's back in P8. There you go. She likes it when I call him Dougie. I like it. I think Dougie likes it when I call him Dougie. And guess what? I just finished up that Netflix NASCAR series. I'll tell you what, I was absolutely hyped about that one. It really got me. It's pretty much like Drive to Survive, and they even mentioned that, didn't they? On the, if you haven't seen it yet on the Netflix series, like, is this Drive to Survive? No, it's not. But it gets you to really learn about the thrills of driving ovals and rovals and all that sort of jazz when it comes to NASCAR racing. It got me pumped up at the moment there, Jacob. Is this race going to get you up for the Veteran of Life ARCA series here?
I'm telling you, I am absolutely 100% pumped up. And Dean, just so you know, please do not tell me what happens in the Netflix series.
No.
Because I haven't had the opportunity to watch it yet. Had a lot of
you
stuff
don't know
going
who won
on
last season, but anyway, it's fine. No spoiler alert.
I know who won the championship.
Yeah.
I know how that goes, but I haven't actually watched the series. And I heard it was a fantastic series. We'll see what happens. Ray Ellington also sitting out there saying Trevor won last night. So we got one guy trying to go for the three-peat, one guy trying to go back-to-back 2 nights in a row. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing here at Iowa Speedway. Trevor McManus, not a good jump from getting the pole spot. Jake Ellingson, he's going to try to fight hard up here on this outside, door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel with Trevor McManus as they hit the backstretch.
Yeah, and you spoke about these short tracks as well. Don't even realize how much of the fence you have to go to, the high and low line. But look at this. At the moment, Jake going up on the inside there, and Trevor's on the outside wall. No, is it? There it is, and we have a caution already on the speedway.
Woo, we got a big crash back here in the back. And I thought it actually started with Mark Hollifield, but it actually started just a little bit ahead of him. Looked like it was Johnny Colefield that actually started this whole deal, and he's going to get straight up sideways going into turn 3.
Ooh.
And it actually stacked everybody else up behind him. And you're going to see the 07. There he is. Gets a little bit loose. Slips down the racetrack. Ends up causing for a 3-wide opportunity right there with Chance Taylor and Colton Lanford. And Lanford, he slides up just a little bit. Maybe Taylor came down, got him in the right rear. Hooked him straight into the fence. Hard, head on into the fence. And then there you see, I believe it was the 29 of Mark Hollifield. He ends up going through the grass. But hellacious hit right there. That was took right there. Big time hit.
That'll allow Jake to be in the lead of this race at the moment there. So what would you put that one down to at the moment there, Jacob, as a racing driver? Just cold tires there? Everybody's on the loud pedal and the car just does not agree with you out of the turn?
I think it has a lot to do with the cold tires. Honestly, I mean, you know, we see that a lot here at Iowa. You know, just the back end is kind of stepping out. It's actually very cool. You know, right now in the session, I mean, granted, from what I'm seeing by the sim time right now, it's actually 11:07, which is way past my bedtime right now. I guarantee you that. But I mean, you know, with the temperatures, I mean, you know, 73 for there, and there you see it right there, 75 for the track temp. It's a little bit cool right now, and then when you're on cold tires with a cold track, sometimes that kind of jumps up there and kind of bites them just a little bit. And maybe that's exactly kind of what happened right there. I think he might have just drove in there. It could have been the tires. It could have been maybe he stabbed the brake just a little bit. And that happens if you end up hitting the brakes just a little bit hard here in these ARCA cars. You can easily get the back end to come around. So I think it may have been a combination right there, honestly, Dean. I think it had to do with the cold tires, and also I think he might have tried to lock the brakes up just a little bit. Probably wasn't used to it at that point with it going to stop that hard, especially on the cold tires.
And just to let everybody know that's new, like myself there, this is a short track, right? So you're talking about what are you talking about between half a mile to a mile track there, information that we had provided a little bit earlier there. Like, how much
Well, the way I
difficult
look
this
at
is.
it, well, I mean, Dean, you know, the way I look at it, honestly, I mean, you know, I classify a short track as something less than a mile. That's the way I look at it. Now, granted, you could look, you know, at Dover and say, yeah, we'll go ahead and say Dover is a short track because it's a mile. I don't necessarily think that, because you got to factor in the speeds and you got to factor in the size, all of it at the same time. There you see it right there, 0.8 miles, just a little bit over 3/4 of a mile. So, you know, I still think, you know, obviously below, you know, that 1 mile, I think that's where it's going to come into play with a short track, say like Bristol, Martinsville, Richmond, Iowa, a track that I would classify as a short track. A lot of people would actually say this is not necessarily a short track. Some people actually says that this is actually an intermediate track, even though with its size, because of the speeds that they run here. But I classify this as a short track in that sense, basically.
And one thing I'm going to get to you, I think it was more on the super speedways. You haven't seen that series, but I'm going to pick your brain on that one a little bit later on. You'll find drivers sometimes, I guess, more in like the likes of Daytona and all the classic tracks. We're going to get ready to go, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Because,
yeah, we'll get to it.
Yep, there we go. Jacob, we're going to
Here
get
we go.
rolling on the greens.
Damn, and Jake gets a fantastic jump. Trevor McManus, he's going to have to lift out of it just a little bit, try to jump down in front of Andy Kurtz. Kurtz is going to ride in the 3rd spot. Jamie Mullins will ride 4th. Brandon Wallace right behind him in 5th. Everybody basically running a single file formation, with the only difference, Trevor McManus just a little bit high right there in 3 and 4. And there is a lot of grooves here at Iowa that you can run. You can run the bottom, you can run the top, but you got to be very, very careful, especially in 1 and 2 trying to run the top, because there is a huge bump right there smack dab in the middle of 1 and 2 that can really upset these cars and really make that back end step out. Or if you hit it the wrong way, you can bottom out and go straight up into the wall.
We're running on board right now with Jamie, and you're going to be able to see that one because it won't take very long to get into those turns. Jamie goes in the middle of the track at the moment. Look at the fight of the steering wheel. Goes up the inside. There's the bumps. You had to mention that. That feels like a bump to me, my friend. And I even riding that, and I even riding in his racing rig.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, honestly, turn 1 and 2, really all the way around. If you go to the top, it's bumpy. If you go to the bottom, it's bumpy. The only place really that it's not as bumpy is right in the middle. And usually that is the faster portion, as you actually see a little bit of side-by-side racing. Jamie Mullins actually going to take my advice and try to jump up in the middle there. You see he gets around Brandon Wallace, I believe it is. Or no, that's Tanner Bethea, excuse me, trying to get around him. And you're going to see these guys more and more and more as this run goes along. They're going to get off this bottom side, jump up to the top, and try to get these runs, but you don't want to do it too early in the race, because if you do, as I've said time and time again, Dean, if you get up on the top side, it's going to carry more speed. You're going to get more momentum, but at the cost of running or of basically burning right through your tires.
I think Tanner's not either listening to your advice there, my friend, or not, but he's hungry at the moment on the back there of the 66 machine. You still have Trevor. Trevor's starting to hump down this one, so we're having a good little bit of beef. Look at the gap that they're starting to build. You can barely even see the cars behind them. down the main stretch. We'll go back to the lead of this one. But I'm telling you, my friend, the track map at the moment, they're starting to spread and spread and spread. There's your top 5, top 6 actually, and then 7th a little bit further back.
Yeah, and we got a caution on the Speedway. It was Mark Hollifield, and wow, Mark Hollifield in the 29. He's actually going to get sent right here, believe it or not, from the 97 right there, Johnny Cofield. He was the one that we talked about a while ago that maybe locked the brakes up and had the back end spin around, or it might have been on cold tires. I think he might have actually drove in just a little bit too hard right there, maybe locked them brakes up a little bit too much, or maybe he wasn't anticipating Mark to actually slow down the way that he was. Check it out right here on the instant replay. This is riding on board with the 97 to Johnny Cofield. And he's going to go right into the corner. And Dean, it looked like he actually wanted to try to send it down on the bottom side to maybe try to dive bomb the corner. But Dean, in my opinion, if you're that far back, there's just no way to be able to get a dive bomb right there because it catches the other guy off. It basically catches him by surprise.
I think you're right. I think it's a little bit of a my bad moment. I saw that earlier when I was casting another road course league there with the GT3 cars. It's just a my bad moment. I mean, drivers do it. You've done it before, right? You know, you miss mark. You're like, oh, I want to slow down and I can't, and the car momentum's going forward there. Sometimes you get the lucky break there and the car can slide and you could slow it down enough to scrubbing the tires. But in this case, unfortunately, it didn't work. It slapped into the back of the car. And I'm pretty sure the drivers, once again, will be a my bad moment because they wouldn't be so friendly if it wasn't the last lap of the race, of course, because you're battling for those crucial points. But coming this early into the race with 88 to go, it would be like, yeah, all right, Jacob, I'm sorry, mate. I tank slapped you.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't. It's like I said. I mean, you really don't want to do that, dive it in like that, especially this early. But it's like you said, Dean. You know, when it comes down to the nitty gritty, and you get right there at the end, you know, send it. I mean, you know, at that point, you gotta send it, like you said, for the points, for the win. Obviously, you know, this, you know, Veterans for Life ARCA series is gonna come into a playoff later on in this season, which is something completely different than you would actually see with the ARCA series in general. You never would really see a playoff in the real ARCA deal. I mean, they're just straight points, basically like old NASCAR. So this is completely different right here with these guys coming out here in ARCA cars and having a playoff to try to get into. And yeah, I mean, you know, right now, Andy Kurtz obviously sitting third right now. He's obviously leading everybody so far going in them playoffs, gets the win. He's already locked into it. But now we're going to see who's going to change that, who's going to get out here and get a win, lock themselves in the playoffs. We'll find out right here in a short span of about 84, 85 laps, 86 laps rather. But right now, Jake looking pretty good up there. Trevor was reeling him in, though, Dean.
Yeah, he was, and that day was going to be a great battle between them. Hopefully we get a little more green flag racing. We'll get to see that 86 to go, of course, plenty. But more curious is about the 19 gets the go around, so you can see on your track map at the moment, the 19 gets the speed up, because I was about to say, they're going to catch that 19 at a fast pace. But down the backstretch at the moment, I want to talk you through this, because I don't really show it too often there, Jacob, because we always see kind of more from the external cam. But I want to have a perspective, because I'm pretty sure we may have more cautions in this race. Tell me and talk through this as a race leader when the pace car peels off. We'll stay on board Jacob, or Jake and Jacob. How does Jake manage this one? Go ahead.
I mean, you're basically just kind of trying to figure out in the Geico restart zone where you want to go. Anywhere in that blue zone, you can gas up and you can take off. If you go before that, then the admins will end up busting you, giving you a penalty. But you want to try to get that jump like Jake did. Try to catch Trevor McManus off guard. Now, here's the problem. Mainly when you're the leader, you're trying to throw off the guy that's beside of you. But the problem that you got is the guys that behind you, they can try to time it and try to get the exact point of when you're going to gas it up. The guy that's on the outside's got that disadvantage, Dean. He can't really see what's going on unless he's got about 5 monitors sitting in front of him. He can't really see exactly what's going on below him. So that's where it gets tricky. That's why you want to try to jump the restart as best you can, but you got to do it, like I said, within that blue Geico restart zone. You don't want to jump it too early. And if you end up trying to jump it too late, then guess what? You're probably screwed anyway, because somebody's probably going to try to get a run on you. And here we go. Maybe try to look for the run. Trevor McManus diving it down to the bottom side. He's going to kick Jake Ellenson up to the top side. But remember, that top side, you can get the run. As you see Jake making that run, but he's going to try to dive down in front of Trevor McManus. McManus sends it in. Jake trying to pinch him down on the yellow line, and that's going to open the door wide open for Andy Kurtz, who is going to jump right up here and make it a three-horse battle.
Yeah, you mentioned at the moment, isn't it? The gambles that you take when you put your nose in there. Look at him struggling with the car. It's bumpy, it's dusty, and those walls will definitely take absolutely no prisoners. He's got Indy in the back of the car. Yes, Indy's back at the moment there, Andy. But Andy, of course, the winner from last time, at the moment is holding in strong there, 20 down of 100, and great racing. Jake still holding in tight, as you said. He went up high. The gamble was taken there from Trevor. Didn't quite pan off at this point, but we still have plenty to go.
Got Andy Kurtz basically trying to go back to back to back, going for the three-peat here on Thursday night. Trevor McManus won last night within the Goat Locker Racing League, and Jake Ellenson trying to get some redemption from what happened last week. Had a fantastic run going at Gateway. Unfortunately ends up going to the back and ends up getting caught up in an accident. Not the finish that the 27 wanted. And right now he is at a fierce battle as Trevor McManus is going to get loose right behind him. Andy Kurtz has to get out of the gas, much less probably stood on the gas trying to get around him. So now Kurtz is going to go by. Here comes Brandon Wallace. Wallace is going to get up to the back bumper of Trevor McManus. And don't count out Tanner Bethea, right behind him. And now Tanner's going to send it down to the bottom side. He's going to try to go for fourth.
Look at this, absolutely fantastic racing. Going to seize an opportunity. If somebody makes a mistake, you seize it, because it's not the easiest to overtake around here. And clearly you mentioned that one at the moment, Jacob. If there's a gap car opportunity, right? And they are seizing that one immediately as they go lap 24. And just like that, easy to make a mistake, easy to slide that car, but so good. So proud of him. For everybody else, of course, that's watching out there. And thank you for watching to keep it out of that fence and keep it out of the barrier.
Honestly, Nate, I want to know where the baby powder is out here on this track. Folks, if you don't know exactly what I'm thinking about here, go to your local go-kart track, go to your slick track, and tell them to go out there and put some baby powder out there on that sucker. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be slipping, you're going to be sliding. You will have no traction on that slick track when they put baby powder on it. We used to do it all the time up there in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I always used to try to bring a thing of baby powder and try to bring it with us and see if they would go ahead and put it out there and try to make it as slick as all get out. So I think somebody may have went out there and dumped a whole lot of baby powder out here on this racetrack, because I just saw Tanner Bethea almost lose it. Trevor McManus, he almost lost it as well. These guys are all over the place, slipping and sliding around, basically like they're driving pro late models on a dirt track right now.
Baby powder, exactly.
Yeah.
Baby powder used for a lot of things, as you mentioned there as well. Never heard that in a motor race before, but then again, Jacob, of course, I know you just came off your podcast, so we're looking forward to that one as well too, didn't you? With one of the other fantastic producers. There's a run at the moment there. Who's up on the inside there? Is that Wesley? No, sorry, my apologies. That's Brandon, and that's the 66 and 99 machine.
Yeah, Mullins tried to take a shot. Yeah, 66, 99, flip them around best way that you can. And Mullins tried to take a shot. But Brandon Wallace, as I mentioned, up there in that middle lane, able to carry the momentum. Jamie took a shot, and it was a hellacious shot, and it almost ended up working out for him. But if you're going to try those shots, as there you see Jamie, he's actually trying to work his way up just a little bit. These guys, like I said, they're going to inch closer and closer and closer to that wall to try to carry as much momentum as they can off the corner. But Jamie is sending it big time right here behind Brandon Wallace. He is trying to get there. As you were riding on board with Tanner Bethea right behind it, watching every bit of this, There you saw the 29. He's
Goes
actually
back,
coming
we got
out of the
action.
pits, but here we go. We got some more action back here, Dean.
We got beef. We got beef. I know how much you like beef. We got a three-way beef, perhaps. Oh, that's going to be really slicing the dice at the moment. That 05 machine decides to stick his nose in the middle there. This could be caution on lap 30 or go. What would you do at this moment? That was fine. You have to tuck in behind the 24, wouldn't you? That would be mad. As the 24 will get basically pinch the 58, sorry, to the fence, and that's Dougie. Dougie goes quite up high there, but is that going to be the best line? You said it could be good, could pay off. Good advantage. I'm going to show the track map because these cars are everywhere right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna send it at that point, I mean, you got to be able to try to send it and be able to carry off the corners right in front of them. Eric Talent almost slid right up into Dustin Hardy. Wow, Talent got big time loose right there on the bottom side. He is still a little bit loose. Hardy's actually just a little bit loose as well. As I said, everybody's slipping, sliding all over the place. There you see Dougie right there in a side-by-side battle with Jeremiah Holt. And there's what I'm talking about. Holt going all the way up as high as he can to try to carry some momentum and try to get off of the corner. And wow, I mean, hate it right there for Jason Kraft. He was going to end up trying to send it as well, trying to find a way around Doug Ellingson, but to no avail, had to get on the brakes or he was going to end up running him over. Now everybody's starting to work this top side to go ahead and try to carry some momentum, try to get around Doug. Doug sends it, and they're going to send Doug straight up into the wall. Caution is on the Speedway.
You called it. I just switched away at the last moment. My apologies, but there it is. That was brewing. Oh, 58. Don't get stuck at the moment. You can actually get really stuck, can't you, on that little degree pavement. But, the experienced redneck car stats called it again, my friend. If you got commentating curses, you got it right here.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, that I'm amazed I still have a job doing this thing. As bad as I keep giving, the commentator curse, but I mean, Doug, he sends it in very, very hard. You'll see it right here. Granted, the 82 right there, that's Brian Abbott. Doug, there you see it. He sends it in, but then the 82 sends it big time. Maybe Doug slid up, maybe not. I don't think he actually slid up as bad as the 82 sent it in right there. That was just a hellacious hit. That Brian Abbott ends up getting into the back bumper of Doug right there. But Doug sent it. But then at that point, Abbott, it's like he got on the gas and just basically just rammed straight into him and jacked the whole back end up, spun him around. Unfortunately, 14 Chance Taylor, he gets involved as well. See a lot of guys going down pit road. They're going to come down and give them some 4 fresh tires right here.
Yeah, Trevor came in a little bit later than Jake, of course, who had the lead of this one. So it's all about whether they get those tires on and off. And if you actually, once again, watch that Netflix series, you're going to see how much it comes down to your teammates and the strategy of your teams. And Jake comes out ahead. Andy, P2. So Andy jumped that one in pit road there. His crew's got the job done and got the job done well. But then again, you don't know. Is he taking 2 tires, 4 tires, gasoline? Who knows there, Jacob? But I guess, quick short break. Back in just a minute.
Folks, we are back here at Iowa. We've seen some fantastic racing up to this point right here. Lap 36 coming around to complete lap 36 and go ahead and get on lap 37. Once again, I am the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. Dean Biggles up here, the Australian from down under up here in the booth. We'll be giving you these awesome camera angles and also doing a little co-announcing. And apparently, Dean, from what we were talking about earlier, I guess you could say learning, because for the folks at home, Dean, you basically know a lot about road racing and open wheel racing. You're still kind of new, I guess you could say, to the NASCAR side or the oval side, if you will.
I am, but this is the one key thing, because when I started doing broadcasting a few years back during the COVID years, a lot of people from the United States, you all folk from the United States of America, you didn't really know too much about F1, right? I mean, Formula One, open wheel, and all of a sudden we see Chance going to pit road and Brian, and then all of a sudden Netflix Drive to Survive just boosted the huge market, which obviously now you see we have like the recent races in Las Vegas, and the whole spirit of racing in the United States of America is all because of obviously a bit of Netflix, right? Drive to Survive. And now what I'm loving, of course, is that I think Netflix have said, hey, if we can get Americans, right, people from the United States of America who don't know too much about really European-based Formula One into Formula One, perhaps we can get Europeans and the rest of the world into NASCAR. And that's what that series, to me, is starting to do. I think Netflix has switched on. And in fact, I've heard a rumor, and do not repeat this online. God, it's going to be repeated online anyway. But Netflix are thinking about broadcasting or potentially producing a esports series to cover the fact of this world of esports entertainment that we do in iRacing and so forth in the future. So look out for that one, Jacob.
You did just say don't record this. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, but then again,
do know we're
but then again, I
live
haven't
on
been
the
told
National
to sign an
360
NDA.
Racing Network.
I haven't been told to sign an NDA, so I can't get in trouble on this one yet. But Netflix are sharp on top of that one, right? They realize where the future of motor racing is, and they realize that it's not just on track; it's also online. Jacob, you're gonna get ready to go green.
Absolutely, it is, and pace car is off. We're going to see what happens right here. Racing online here with the Veterans for Life ARCA Series. Green flag in the air. Jake Ellingson has the lead and gets a fantastic jump in that restart box. He's going to leave Andy Kurtz in the wind way back there. That's going to open the door for Trevor McManus. McManus is actually going to get by him. Here comes Kurtz. Kurtz thinking about it, is going to take that shot down to the inside. Maybe not. Backs away just a little bit. And this may open the door for the 99. Brandon Wallace back here as well. Started 5th, up to 4th. Couple of drivers, there's some big movers here in the field. Jeremiah Holt back there. 15th all the way up to 10th. Another driver, Colton Lanford, started 13th. He's up to 9th, and he's trying to work his way around John Anthony back here as well. But we stay with this lead right now as McManus trying to get, anyway, we see a lot of hard racing right there. There you see Lanford down on the bottom trying to find his way around Anthony right here. And granted, look at this. Anthony trying to work his way up to the top side, trying to see if he can get up there and maybe get this run, try to get around Lanford. But we got a battle going on for the second spot as McManus, he's got a rear view mirror full, may have a door full of Andy Kurtz as he gets loose. And here comes Brandon Wallace trying to see if he can go for third as we get another caution.
Oh, I was about to say, just as we're getting some fantastic action at the moment, almost about halfway through the race, as I wanted to hear more of that door-to-door racing, as you say. The pace car is going to have to come back out there, and we're going to have to go back to the replay, I think, a little bit further back on that one, isn't it?
Yeah, I may have screwed us right here on this one, because we was just watching this right here, and it was John Anthony and Colton Lanford that ends up getting involved right here. And you're going to see John Anthony right here on the top. He's the one that initiates this whole deal. He's going to snap loose. There he goes. He's already loose in a four-wheel slide, just trying to get that bad boy straightened back out. Comes straight down into Lanford. Lanford head on into the wall. Hellacious hit right there for the 25 of Colton Lanford. Goes straight up into the fence. Then Anthony ends up getting into the fence as well. There you see everybody else trying to see if they can duck and dodge and try to get around it. Dean, what's actually craziest about this is Dustin Hardy, who was right in front of him in the 24. He actually just spun out on his own. He got sideways, got in the grass. So it's actually kind of, I guess you could say, a savior for him that caution come out, because I believe he's going to be able to get back up there, which is where he's at right now in the 6th spot. So he got really, really lucky, I guess you could say, that Lanford got hooked. Now, granted, we got some fans out there, Lanford hate it for you, but I'm sure Dustin Hardy probably doesn't mind that caution coming out, because he was going to be outside of the top 15 when it was all said and done.
It should help James at the moment there. Gets the lucky dog. Here is your Oreo 55 machine. He'll be able to get to run all the way around there, past a whole bunch of people in pit road that we just saw there. Jake's still leading this one, and barely holding on there from Andy, of course, the man that's won many of these races so far. good on you, because we know at the moment that Ray's going to be giving everything she possibly can to Jake out there. And thank you very much for always your support there, Ray. We love having you in. Essentially, you almost feel like you're in the booth. But she's there supporting, you know, her family, her team, and everybody in Wisconsin.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Milwaukee. Yep, closest I've been to Milwaukee, of course. I've lived in. God, I think it's for a second. God, I can't even remember. Oh, come on, get it in my head there. I was right next to the state there. The lakes, the 1,000 lakes. Come on, get it in my head there. Minnesota. God, I can't believe I can't even remember that. Anyway. Yeah, the first place I ever lived in the United States of America was Minnesota, and the first thing people have said to me going, "Are you from Australia?" And then, yeah, what are you doing here? That's what they all said. What are you doing here? I'm like, what? I don't get snow like this in the outback of Australia. This is lovely. Anyway, over to you, Jake.
One thing I do want to mention right here, Dean, that we may have missed right here. Where's Trevor McManus? He was actually up here at the front where Jake Ellingson was. There you go.
I think he's
Trevor
in and out.
Trevor has disconnected. He
Oh,
pulled down pit road and backed out of the race. So I'm not real sure exactly what happened to Trevor right there. But unfortunate, because Trevor McManus was looking very, very good here this evening. Got a little loose a couple of times, but was able to keep it up front. But unfortunately, Trevor's not going to be here for the end of this race. So it's going to surrender it all to Jake Ellison and Andy Kurtz. But let's not count out Brandon Wallace, Tanner Bethea. They're back here as well. And Jamie Mullins, we've already seen him a couple of times up there in the number 66. He's took a couple of shots down to the inside, trying to make some aggressive moves to be able to try to advance himself up in the field. So, but basically everybody right here in the top 5 has a shot to win it. Now, granted, everybody else does too, but the top 5 cars have been the class of the field so far this evening.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it can go to tell you about halfway through. There's 55 laps to go. Anybody could win this, really, on the lead lap there. So it is unfortunate, and maybe we can see about talking the drivers in there at the moment, because I can't find Trevor. Dougie is somewhere around there at the moment there, James. I don't like going back to these drivers in the backfield because we're not quite sure if they're in it to win it or not. But Jake is. Ray is out there. Carl Lynch, so they got to start moving there, Wes. And she's thinking about Wesley Lynch, of course. I'd imagine they're 3 positions down for 33 machine. But hey, here we go. There, Jacob. So Jake to Jacob, Jacob to Jacob. Andy, of course, in P8 there. What do you reckon? Another good race start there? Let's go. Cockpit view again, Jacob.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens right. I mean, Jake's been pretty good right here on these restarts. He's been able to get away pretty good. And green flag is out once again. And perfect restart for Jake Ellingson. Gasses it up, and he is gone. And Andy Kurtz is going to be right behind him, right behind them. Tanner Bethea.
Oh, this
How about
turning.
this? All the way up to 3rd, and now Brandon Wallace almost loses it, but able to keep it straight. And now everybody's going to shoot right by Brandon Wallace. So Wallace is going to go all the way back there. You see Wesley Lynch. Just talked about him just a second ago. Here he is starting to ease up here. He's going to go all the way up to 8th. And wow, I mean, what a move right there. But we may end up seeing a crazier move. Here comes Kurtz. Kurtz is loose as Ellingson slides up. But wow, here we go. Jake Ellingson trying to hold off Andy Kurtz, trying to go for the 3-peat. But Jake trying to get, like I said, that sweet redemption that he had Gateway in the bag last week, Dean. He had that sucker in the bag. He's trying to get it back here tonight.
This is what we want to see. Well, they're fighting in the steering wheel at the moment there. Wow. It is like fighting a crocodile down under at the moment in Australia, my friend, and I guarantee you that is crazy at the moment. Look, the bumpiness, this is what you mentioned, but when you get into that dirty air, it is a crazy, crazy, crazy. It's fun, it's enjoyable, and this is what you call Speedway racing at the moment here for the Goat Locker Racing Series, and look at the way he is fighting. There's no sitting there. People always say, you get to turn left, just turn left. You're not just turning left, my friend. You're fighting it to the right and to the left on multiple times. Look at the 8 machine working here. Jake's still holding on.
Wow, I'm telling you, he is sending it every little bit, just trying to get to the back bumper. Obviously not trying to turn Jake, but maybe try to throw him off. This is a tactic that a lot of drivers use, try to fill that rear view mirror full of, and that's what Andy's trying to do. He's trying to fill Jake Ellingson's mirror absolutely full to where Jake has to look up. Jake has to acknowledge that Andy Kurtz is back there. He's got to acknowledge that he's back there, and obviously when that happens, drivers try to send it into the corner. A driver's going to look up and see what's going on, and they may end up missing their entry point or what have you.
Oh, we have three abreast
So,
at the back here,
that's
but
what
I have
it
to
is, but
cut
here
you
we
off
go,
on this
yeah.
one, my friend, because
Go
of
for
that. This is where it gets a little bit loosey-goosey crazy. I mean, I'd love to keep those battle at the front at the moment. When you're seeing 3 or 4 cars abreast here, my friend, you know there's big trouble in the Iowa Speedway.
Yeah, big time trouble back here in the back around the Wesley Lynch area. Eric Talent, he's going to get loose back here as well. And Brian Abbott, how about this? He started 18th all the way up to 10th. He was in that little bit of a skirmish, or skirmish, I guess you could say, with Doug Ellingson a while ago. Now here he is up here inside the top 10 trying to find a way around Eric Talent. Talent's going to slide up right in front of him. Abbott's going to back away, try to get the run coming off the corner, maybe try to get to his door the best that he can. And Chance Taylor saw him up here as well. He ended up getting involved in a couple of accidents, but here he is back up here trying to get himself a top 10 as Andy Kurtz still putting this pressure on Jake Ellingson. And both these drivers have separated themselves from the 20 of Tanner Bethea and the 66 of Jamie Mullins, which both of them's in their own little battle. 4 drivers, there you see it right there, all 4 of them on your screen at that time. They've separated themselves by almost 3 seconds over the 5th place car, which is the number 32 of Jeremiah Holt.
And we have to switch it back to the lead, of course, there, because it's very, very close between the top 2, and I don't want to miss the top 2 going. They got about a second and change down the road from P3 as the Bud Machine of Andy, previous race winner, wants more. He's smelling blood at the moment, but Jake at the moment says, hey, I've got it. I've got Ray out there. I have the support of everybody, and I'm pretty sure at the moment Andy may have a whole bunch of crew out there watching. But here we go there, Jacob. Those wrapping through those laps pretty quickly at the moment. 44 to go. Another pit stop on the, what do you think, on the horizon or not? I think they go to the end. What do you reckon?
I think they can. I mean, I mean, obviously they can, you know, with the fuel and everything. It just depends on how bad they've been burning their tires up. And we'll see that here in a little bit. But we've actually got some side-by-side battle right here. This is for the 6th spot back here. Dustin Hardy and Brandon Wallace. Wallace, if you remember, got loose on the restart and actually almost completely lost it. Almost ended up overcorrecting it and sending it right up in the middle of the field. But now here he is trying to battle with Dustin Hardy, try to ease back up and get into that 6th spot. And they've reeled in Jeremiah Holt. So we got a lot of battles going on right here, Dean. We got a battle for the lead. We got Tanner Bethea and Jamie Mullins. They're both battling for that 3rd spot. Then you got a 3-way, if you want to call it a 4-horse race, it's Wesley Lynch. He's going to ease up here, try to bring Eric Talent along with him. A lot of battles going on. This is why a lot of fans love Iowa Speedway, because the multi-groove short track that it is.
Yeah, you look at your track map at the moment, which is the reason why I pulled it up. You've got the 1, 2 dots, 3, 4 dots. That's another battle going on. And then you got the dots behind that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 we can all count. But that's where it goes to, almost 12. So, which battle? Tanner here, look at that. Under massive pressure there from Jamie. Then, of course, we have Jake under pressure there from Andy. So, which camera you want to show? Which is the closest? Well, we always do as producers, generally go the closest. And this one, Dustin, spotlight's yours, my friend. Get the overtake done.
He's trying to, and he actually tried to follow Jeremiah Holt into the corner, which is something you really don't want to do, especially on 1.5 miles. That's where you end up getting that dirty air. And you can get a little bit here at Iowa, but now you're going to see Dustin. He's going to ease down to the bottom. Right behind him, Brandon Wallace just absolutely set it down on the bottom side, slid all the way up to the wall. But here comes Dustin Hardy down on the bottom. Jeremiah Holt up on the top side. He's going to get the run on the top side. So if Dustin wants to be able to get around him and get a top 5 tonight, he's going to have to think about trying to go a little bit higher than Jeremiah Holt to be able to get this pass. And he better watch his back bumper, because Brandon Wallace is coming in a hurry. But now Hardy's going to get to the door of Jeremiah Holt. Is he going to send it in? Is he going to be able to make that number 24 stick? The back end comes around just a little bit, and Jeremiah Holt able to power off again. As up front, Jake Ellingson has opened up to about a half a second lead over Andy Kurtz, but we stay with this battle with Jeremiah Holt, Dustin Hardy, and Brandon Wallace.
I'm wondering, can he get a little push? I mean, it's not a super speedway, so you don't really get that draft. But can he give him a little bit of push? Would the 99 want to give him a push? No, at this point can choose. Who do I want, 32 or the 24? He goes up to the high side. 24 is going to lose a little bit of momentum. They could see that Paps is going there. You're going to stick your nose in the middle there, the 99? I don't think that'd be wise. 6 in behind the 24.
Wow, and Jeremiah Holt, he's trying to work this top side, but the back end kind of stepped out a little bit. And that's all Dustin Hardy needed. So now Hardy, he's going to get by. Holt trying to hold down the top side. Here comes Brandon Wallace. Wallace is going to send it down on the bottom side. He's going to try to see if he can pull the slide job and jump up right in front of Jeremiah Holt. But they better watch their back bumper. Here comes Brian Abbott. Here comes Wesley Lynch. Right behind him, Eric Talent. Holy hell, and the car's battling right here for this fifth spot. But Dustin Hardy's starting to see if he can check out. Is Jeremiah Holt trying to hold it down on that top side? Wallace, Abbott, Lynch, Talent, all of them trying to go for this fifth spot.
Oh, this is going to be brewing something, because if they don't do something, look at the other cars behind them there. You've got huge amount of action here at the moment. Look at this riding on board of Wesley, the 33 machine. 1, 2, 3 cars. He's imagining it. 34 laps to go there. 67 down there. Jacob, well, opportunities and perhaps the crushing memories of this track. What would you do as a race driver right now on this machine?
I'm telling you, I would go absolutely crazy right now. I mean, because I've never actually been good here at Iowa, which is ironic enough, Dean, now that I'm actually sitting here saying that, because we're actually going to Iowa Monday night for the DSR Legend Truck Series. But, I mean, it's ironic that I sit here and say that I hate Iowa. I mean, and nothing against the track. I love the track. I love how it races and everything. I've just never been good here. I've never been able to figure it out. But these guys here for the Veterans for Life ARCA Series, they have figured this sucker out big time here tonight. And they're putting on a hell of a show back here. Lynch, he's going to send it on the top side. He's going to try to see if he can get around the 32 of Jeremiah Holt. Looks like he's been dropping back just a little bit here and there. But up front, Andy Kurtz, he has reeled back in Jake Ellingson and is following right in his tire tracks. But we're going to stay with this battle at least until
there
we start
it is,
seeing a battle
Jacob.
for the lead, and there it is right there.
You knew that was brewing up at the moment as he slides his way across. No damage, I'd imagine, to that machine. Just a little bit of a love tap there. No Christmas cards exchange, etc., etc. That will bring caution out. I was hoping there was going to be no caution. It was a bit of a nightmare for me up in the producing trailer, my friend, because I had battles P1, P2, battles for P3, P4, battles back there. But a little bit of a breather, I guess, for everybody. And now, do they go down a pit road? Let's have a look at that one. We saw it live anyway. And just to elaborate, there it is, right? That was
the first
no, that was
caution
the first
right
one.
there.
No.
Lanford got to get
Yeah,
it
that
into
was
the fence.
this is the one that caused it. Yep.
There we go. Yes, I mean, Jeremiah Holt.
We saw
I mean,
it live. Yeah.
I mean, from what it looks like, I mean, I don't necessarily think he backed into him right there. Honestly, I think it was just talent that just kind of got in the gas just a little bit too much right there and ends up getting into the back of him. Obviously, nothing that he wanted to do intentional right there. To the 32 of Holt right there, but I think he just got in the gas just a little bit, ends up jacking the back end up, sends him around. Here's where it's going to get interesting right here, Dean. And
it's
obviously,
pit road now, isn't it?
Yeah. This is pit road. This is when everything's going to be down to the wire right here. Who's going to beat who off pit road? We already saw Andy Kurtz had a fantastic pit stop to be able to get out right behind Jake.
Oh,
he
back up.
He missed
Jake,
his box by just a little bit. That is not what Jake needed right here, but maybe, just maybe, he's going to be able to gas it up. There you see Kurtz. Left side tire's up. Ellingson's tires
Kurtz
up.
out.
It's not going to be enough. Kurtz is going to check out, and
Jake
Kurtz is going to take the lead.
Oh, wow. I was going to say, I don't know. It doesn't even matter if you're in road racing or oval racing or whatever. It's matching your pit stop perfectly, because in iRacing, you have to line it up because of your pit crew in milliseconds has to adjust to move their angles of their wheels to take those tires off and on. You get it wrong, it costs you milliseconds, and milliseconds is all it takes here, especially if 29 to go, 72 down. So there you go. Andy will jump Jake in the pit road.
That's unfortunate right there. Honestly, it was going to be a hell of a race all the way down to the end because Kurtz, he backed off a little bit and then he reeled Jake in right there. So now we're going to get to see what happens right here. And Jake, he's been up here at the front. He's been the man that's been up here basically lighting it up here on these restarts. There you see John Anthony in the 00. Charlotte, North Carolina easing down. There's the Oreo. Damn, I'm going to have to go get me some Oreos when this thing's all said and done, Dean. As much as you keep on throwing Oreos on the screen, baby,
four times
the
the pit stop, my friend. He's getting all the advertising.
I don't blame him one bit. Perfect paint scheme because those are them vanilla Oreos that I absolutely love. I love the vanilla Oreos. Never really been a big fan of the chocolate Oreos. Folks out there in the chat, let's know what kind of Oreo you like. Do you like the vanilla? Do you like the lemon flavor? Do you like the chocolate? What are you thinking right here?
Well, why is Dougie going down pit road again for the third time, I believe? Because, he got Jacob. He's hoping to win this race. But the Doug start for the 58 machine hasn't had the best of luck at the moment. 8 down, 8 positions. Probably lose a lap down at the moment. Is that a drive-through? No, he's going to pit road. Spot.
Yeah, maybe going... Yeah, maybe Dane, maybe he's going to fix a little bit of damage. These guys do get one fast repair. These guys do get one fast repair to be able to use anytime in this race. So maybe he's going down. Maybe he had a little bit of extra contact out there on the track. Try to go ahead and get that car massaged out the best that he possibly can. So we'll end up seeing what happens. But let's go ahead and set the scene for you folks. Now up front, Andy Kurtz. Obviously going for the three-peat. He's trying to go ahead and get this bad boy going. By the way, thank you, Ray, for... oh, wow, I didn't even know Oreo had mint. just out of nowhere, Dean. Sorry about that. But anyway, Andy Kurtz trying to go for the three-peat. He's trying to get up here and start off a fantastic season by winning the very first 3 races. Jake Ellison, we talked about him. What happened to him last week at Gateway? Tanner Bethea. Up there, he finished at the podium last week. Jamie Mullins, obviously Piney Flats, Tennessee, obviously retired from the Air Force, so shout out to you, sir, for that. They're up there in 4th. Dustin Hardy, we saw him in that number 24. He's got loose a couple of times, slipped and slide all the way around the place. But we're in for a hell of a restart right here, Dean. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. We'll see if Kurtz can go for the three-peat, see if anybody can knock him off the throne here for the Veterans for Life ARCA Series.
You forgot about...
There's going to be a lot of sending it right here.
You forgot about Bazza at P7. I call him Bazza. That's Brian. It's usually Barry, but you know what, Brian? You're a Bazza now. 82 machine, 11 positions. So keep an eye on for him, my friend, as that pace car's going to peel in there. Look out for Andy. Andy's like where he wants to be there. Jake's not where he wants to be there. Tanner is going to challenge them all. Here we go.
Yeah, and Andy Kurtz able to give Jake Ellison a little bit of his own medicine, basically. And now Jake's going to get straight up loose, and he's going to slide all the way down to the bottom of the track. Unfortunate set of circumstances right there for Jake, who was leading a good portion of this race. Slips up, gets a little bit loose right there on the restart. Not able to straighten it out. Able to straighten it out, but he's going to lose a lot of spots. Go all the way from 2nd to 12th in one lap. That's some kind of stuff that you would end up seeing at Talladega or Daytona. But up front, Andy Kurtz, he's trying to check out Tanner Bethea. He's trying to get away from Jamie Mullins and Brandon Wallace as we got a wreck back here in the back. No caution on the Speedway.
No caution on the Speedway. We've got 3 cars down. Let's go back to a leader there. That's going to be good for Andy. And he's got a smile on his face at the moment. Tanner and Jamie Mullins and Brandon Wallace will be wrapping out your top of this one.
Caution.
Huge caution. Caution.
Caution on the Speedway. Jake Ellison parked on the track. Ends up getting a caution to come out right here. That'll give us an opportunity to kind of see exactly what happened right here.
Well, this is earlier.
On this, or with this deal right here. I'm thinking honestly, it actually happened. It happened way ahead of what happened, but then it happened right smack dab in front of Jake Ellison.
Oh, he's lifted. 27 lifted, actually. Not bad. He got slapped by the 5 for sure.
Yeah, Talon ends up driving it in there and tags him. And unfortunately, Dean, this is twice right here in 2 weeks right here for that 27 of Jake Ellison. If you think about what happened last week at Gateway, he was running fantastic, was up there, had a shot to win the race. And then unfortunately, there you see Wesley Ledge, he ends up getting loose, tries to straighten it back out, ends up sliding right there. Talon almost ended up cleaning him out. But, I mean, you go back to Jake Ellison right here. I mean, it's like I said, unfortunate for him. I mean, you know, he ran good last week at Gateway. He was going to be in perfect time. I mean, he was going to be in perfect spot to be able to get a good finish last week. Something happened. He ends up going to the back, ends up getting caught up in a crash. This week, ends up sliding through his box. Kurtz ends up getting the lead off of pit road, and then it's going to relegate Jake to the top. He gets loose, gets put back here in this position. I mean, just 2 weeks right here that Jake just wants to forget.
I know. I mean, it's just like gonna get tagged, and that's just motor racing, isn't it? It's wrong place, wrong time for poor Jacob. But it is what it is. A few drivers are going to pit road. We go back to live pictures. Would that be an advantage right now with 21 to go? Maybe. Eric goes in. Eric come in and out of pit road there. Wesley's gone in and out of pit road. I don't think that nobody suffered massive damage.
I mean, I'm actually kind of shocked right here that nobody's really going in. But if you think about it, granted, 21 laps, everybody, I mean, it's like I said, you know, everybody's got 4 sets of tires. So, granted, there's 3 in the pits, 1 on the car. We've already seen everybody take 2 sets, so they've all got 1 laying in the pits right now. I think, Dean, if something happens right here, we get a caution with about 5 laps to go, I think everybody's going to go in there, put on 4 fresh boots, as you would call it. And they're going to send it out here, and then they're going to, I mean, they're basically going to be hell-bent for leather at that point to try to get out here, try to get a win, see if anybody can knock Andy Kurtz out right here. Like I said, back-to-back winner trying to go for the 3-peat. Somebody's got to knock him off sooner or later, Dean.
I mean, I'm not sure about knocking off sooner than later, because I'm learning all the terminology about that one. You mean knocking a driver off the track there, as Ray says.
Well, you know what I mean.
Took them long enough. I'm not quite sure what she's mentioning about took them long enough, but yeah, I know what you mean. Knocking him past the car, perhaps, for the 66 and 99. We've seen these two at it, didn't we? And it to you, of course, 66, but to me, it's 99 because I'm upside down in Australia. Get it?
Yeah, yeah, I get you 100% on that one. I mean, you know, well, you don't need to be thinking of it like that. You know, I mean, hell, I mean, y'all, I mean, the Australians and everything, y'all don't need to be that way. You good, brother?
I want to see these cars go around Bathurst, Australia, but it's not going to happen at this point, is it?
Oh,
anyway.
Lord, don't.
Oh,
Dean,
Jacob around Bathurst. Thumbs up out there if you want that to happen. You want to see that. But
and
at
thumbs
this point,
down if you don't, because I get a feeling you may end up getting a couple of people out there that maybe not. But folks, before we get on this restart, we want to try to go ahead and throw out one of the sponsors for this series. Go ahead and throw out Jam Printing and Promotions. They're from Plainfield, Indiana. They are local. They are veteran certified, and when they do well, they can do more, they can do more good in the community. They formed in 2013, and they have contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits, with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker since the very beginning. They provide Goat Locker Racing with all promotional items that include shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, hell, you name it. Jam is Goat Locker Racing's go-to promotional companies. Go check out Jam Printing and Promotions. They was the sponsor for the Jam Printing and Promotions Truck Series last season, Dean, that we got to see. Jeremy Gardner ended up winning the championship last season. He was basically your pick all the way through that sucker. Apparently you don't have the commentator's curse, so we'll go ahead and throw it out to you before they go back green. Who we think is going to win this thing?
At this point, at the moment, unfortunately, because Jake had that little moment, I'm going to give it to Andy. I don't think anybody's going to catch Andy right now with 18 to go. I think Andy has this one in the bag, and this could be like a bit of a roll for Andy. And why not? You sometimes are a champion because you're a champion. Let's go green, green, green. Oh.
We'll see what happens right here. Green flag is in the air. Andy Kurtz gasses up once again. Tanner Bethea, but here he comes. Tanner Bethea. As I mentioned just a second ago, Kurtz is actually going to get loose. Here comes Bethea all over the back bumper. 17 laps to go. Tanner trying to see if he can get up here, stop this dominance from Andy Kurtz. Wow, where did Tanner come from right here, Dean? We thought about it there for a little bit. He was way back there, may have been saving some tires, but he is straight up sending it big time. Looks up to the top side. Kurtz tries to throw the block on him. Here comes Tanner Bethea looking to the top side, looking for the lead.
He got the launch that you were talking about. Maybe he was paying attention to what we were talking about. Look at the fighting at the steering wheel at the moment, but where are you going to go? To the left. You can't go to the right, my friend. There's a fence there. So he has to fight. Goes to the outside. Here we go, Jacob.
Here we go, and now he's going to actually bring Jamie
Oh.
Mullins up into this battle. Tanner's going to get big time loose, much like what Andy Kurtz was doing not too many laps ago. Got loose a couple of times, and we're going to have a caution on the Speedway right in the back. Look like Jeremiah Holden, the number 32. He ends up getting spun around, but caution on the Speedway.
Yes, just like that. Looks like another machine at the moment. That looks like that's Jake actually that got involved in that one. So we'll go back and have a look at that one. Gentlemen, yeah, there's your tag. And there's the fence, 2732. And will they tag the Oreo machine? No. Luckily, to survive that one, 58 survives it as well, too. But that's just a two-car battle. And a two-car ending to their potential chances of winning this race there, Jacob. But just brews up another chance that Andy has to do one of those other fantastic restarts again. That's not the easiest thing to do.
But I'll say this, Dean. I mean, he had a hell of a restart that last time, but got loose a couple of times, and that's what opened the door for Tanner Bethea to be able to jump down and try to take a shot. He wanted to take a shot on the inside. He had the shot big time. I'm not sure exactly why he didn't take it. I'm sure he was actually thinking about taking.
Do you think
the
we
top
can pull them
side
in real
there for a
quickly? Do you
second.
think we have enough time? Because they're, it's probably a little bit really
I believe
stressful.
we can pull him in.
Yeah,
I
pull him
believe
in
we
real
can pull
quickly
him in.
because we
Let's
have a
bring
pace
him
car
in right here,
lights.
see if we can get him in. Yeah, pace
Yeah.
car lights is on. We got Tanner Bethea up here in the booth. Tanner, I'm telling you, brother, what's it going to take right here to get around Eddie Kurtz and stop his dominance?
Can you repeat that again, man?
I mean, I'm just curious, what it's going to take right here to get around Andy Kurtz and stop this dominance, because you look like you had a fantastic restart right there to be able to have a shot. What's it going to take to get around that number 8?
It's just gonna take driving, man. I'm up on the wheel, and all we can do is pray for the best here. I feel like my tires are good enough for 13 laps that I can burn them up all the way. But hopefully I'm right and maybe not wrong. But that's what we're gonna try.
Tanner, do you want the win, mate? Do you want the win? How bad do you want it, my friend?
I want it pretty bad.
You only have one car ahead of you at the moment. I can see you warming up the steering wheel at the moment. Just get past that, bud. Where was that? I mean, he was blocking you on the outside line and the inside line. I'm not going to give you any secrets away, of course. You can just drive. You know how to win. Get it done. If you want to get it done,
I'll try my
friend.
best.
All right.
Was my favorite country singer would say, burning it down, Jason Aldean. Tanner, go out there and burn them wheels down. Try to get you a win, brother. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Feels like we're favoring drivers, of course, but what we're doing, of course, that's
come
entertainment.
on.
We
ain't
just
that
want
bad.
people to win because Andy's won a few already, right? Andy knows how to win. But we need other drivers. I'll tell you what, Brian, I mean, give it to this man. Give it to this man. He's 13
Damn.
positions up. And if Brian comes across to win this in the 82 machine, then Jacob is going to, I don't know, what are you going to do, Jacob, if Brian wins? Brian Abbott.
It's going to be crazy. I mean, it really is.
Tell us
It's
something
gonna
you
be
would do.
absolutely crazy.
Are you going to take us on a VIP suite at Talladega? We'll go camping, and you'll in Talladega. I don't know. It's up to you.
I'll be honest with you, Dean. I wasn't really paying attention. I was trying to put Tanner back in his box.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I was trying to put him back into the race comms. They had a couple of race comms chats, and I ended up getting it mixed up.
Yeah,
so
we remember everybody in the
Jamie,
chat.
Jake, whichever one of. Yeah, well, I mean, Jake, Jamie, whichever one of y'all did that. If you watch this back, shout out to y'all guys for getting him back in there. Appreciate that. I kind of got
Yeah,
lost
by
there
you,
for a second.
everybody,
But
if we
Dean, what
do-
was you saying?
We do pull drivers in there for the chat, and we have to be very cautious because you don't realize this if you're watching the stream, but they are chatting in their own channels to their own teams and stuff like that. So if we don't pull them in by the end of the pace car coming in, that can really spoil their races, and we don't want to spoil their races, of course. We want them to drive as fast as they possibly can. We have a really long caution, but so that's the reason why we can do this.
Yeah, for some reason or another, we got a very, very long caution, but the pace lights is out now. There you see the number 32 down on pit road. It's Jeremiah Holt. after that accident with him and Jake Ellingson. Jake's still down on pit road as well, and not where he wants to be. Hopefully he'll be able to turn his season around. Still got a long way to go all the way till May, Dean. So still plenty of time for Jake to be able to get up here, get himself a win, and try to turn this season around. But up front, we talked to Tanner just a second ago. He's got some tire in them, baby boy. Look at him already. Got that wheel already jacking that sucker around, son. He's ready to get
I don't know if you want to be doing
going.
that one warm up right next to the eight machine next to you, my friend. That'll be plowing it into him. You haven't got too much room to get that temperature into your tires. But he's eager to go. And this is what dress rehearsal's over, my friend. Because you've done the main stage, right? Now you know exactly how he launches it. Let's find out about this one, Jacob. 10 to go.
See what happens. Whoa, Tanner tried to get on the gas. And actually tried to jump it a little bit, but had to get out of the gas big time. Let's go open the door for Andy Kurtz. Green flag is in the air. Now Tanner Bethea, he's going to be up on the top side. Jamie Mullins down on the bottom side, but Tanner's going to be able to get the run off the corner. We'll see if he can reel back in. Andy Kurtz, as they're looking too wide back here, right behind him. There's your man, Brian Abbott, taking a shot to Brandon Wallace for that fourth spot.
I'm thinking he's going to go for it, my friend, because he realizes only give or take 8 laps to go. So that's it. He's on for it. 13 positions gained. Brian's going to be looking at the one that takes all that he can possibly take. What he's hoping for, perhaps, if anything, is a wreck up the front. Because at best, he could probably take P4. But for now, Andy is focusing on P1. Tanner's focusing on P2. And you can see him line and stern, my friend. 7 laps to go.
And Brandon Wallace may end up focusing on P3 after Jamie Mullins just slapped the fence coming out of turn number 4. Right behind him, Brian, he is sending it all over the place. Dustin Hardy in the number 24, he's trying to send it all over the place, but very, very slowly. We still got 7 laps, now 6 laps to go. So you see some hard driving right there by Brian Abbott, trying to keep that sucker out of the fence, trying to keep it straight, but very slowly but surely. This number 20 starting to reel in. Andy Kurtz, he's getting very close. You see some hard racing back here with Abbott and Hardy. They don't care if these guys are going for a win. These guys want to get on TV. How about that right there? Hardy trying to see if he can get a hold of Abbott for that 5th spot.
I think he might have him at the moment because Hardy's going a little bit twirly-whirly up towards the fence, but he's got to hold on tight. But further up the field, look at this. Look at this. The 66 was thinking about a little dive up there, Brandon. But more about the 99. There's the 20. I think Andy has this one. 5 laps to go. I don't think Andy's got any pressure at the moment from Tanner. But this is all about the rest of the field. Now they're starting to spread out there, Jacob. So give or take, bring it home, my friend. Bring it home.
We'll see what happens right here. Looks like Kurtz has got this bad boy in the bag, but do not count out Tanner Bethea right behind him. He's able to jump away from J.B. Mullins. Brandon Wallace back here. Brian Abbott. That's the top 5. The rest of the top 10 as we're closing this bad boy out. Dustin Hardy, Chance Taylor, Eric Talent, John Anthony. How about that? 00 got caught up in a couple of accidents tonight. He's still inside the top 10. And Wesley Lynch out there for you, Carl Lynch. Wesley running in the 10th spot right now as we see some hard racing back here with these guys. This sucker might not be over with yet. We still see a lot of guys slipping and sliding like they're on baby powder right here, Dean. We can have a caution at any point.
You and your baby powder, my friend. I knew you were going to bring that one up, but here you are. Of course, why not? Because you're in the dying stages. This is when you do use your baby powder. This is when you slap it on the back of the car there and you say, smooth operator is what you need, and they are doing it, but Andy is smooth operating. That number 8 machine there, smoothly around there. I think he got it once he realized what happened. Unfortunately, that with the likes of Jake, that was it. It was game over at that point, but Tanner's hunting him down. Can't quite get it done in time. Final lap.
Yeah, Tanner's trying to see if he can send it. Got a little bit loose off of turn 2. May not be enough. Jamie's going to send it one shot right here by Tanner, see if he can get second. But up front, he gets the 3-peat. Andy Kurtz in the number 8 Budweiser Chevrolet gets the win. Tanner Bethea's going to get second. Jamie Mullins is going to get third. Brandon Wallace fourth. And how about Brian Abbott? You talked about him just a second ago, Dean. 18th. All the way up to finish in the 5th spot. How about that right there? For all 5 of those drivers putting on a hell of a finish here tonight for the Veterans for Life ARCA Series. What a race right here, Dean.
I'm telling you, Jacob, if you can gain 13 positions to win crucial points, that is gold, 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 my friend. Not him and Brian, and as well as Eric in P7. But Andy's going to show off his skills. Of course, as a burnout, because, my friend, those tires are non-refundable. You can burn them, and you can enjoy them. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Done a fantastic job to be able to hold them off. Went through all kinds of crazy stuff to be able to get that number 8 Budweiser up here for a second, Dean. I got to sit here and look at that because that was my boy growing up right there, Dale Earnhardt Jr. So I absolutely love
I saw him in the Netflix
that
series.
paint scheme right there. Yeah, I'm sure he's in it. I'm probably going to go watch it when we get done with this broadcast right here. But there you see the race results. Andy Kurtz obviously gets the 3-peat. He ends up getting the win. Tanner Bethea ends up getting second. Jamie Mullins third. Brandon Wallace fourth as Kurtz is still out there burning it down. Brandon Wallace will get fourth. Brian Abbott will get fifth. Dustin Hardy sixth. Eric Talent seventh. Chance Taylor, he's going to finish in the 8th spot. Good draft for him. He started 14th all the way up to 8th. And Eric Talent, talk about him. He started 20th all the way up to 7th. So good drive by the 0-5 of Eric Talent. John Anthony started 9th. He ends up finishing 9th. And Wesley Lynch out there for you, Carl Lynch. He's going to round out the top 10. Matt Knights will finish 11th after starting 19th. Good run for him. Johnny Cofield able to get everything straightened out. Started 11th. He'll finish 12th. Doug Ellison, not too bad of a night. Started 8th. He ends up finishing 13th. But still able to get out there and knock down a top 15 finish. So good run there by Dougie. Jason Kraft, he's going to finish 14th. He's the last driver to finish on the lead lap. The rest of the field, James Haney, 4 laps down, finishes 15th. Jeremiah Holt, 16th. Jake Ellingson, unfortunately, after what a good run that he had, he's going to end up finishing in the 17th spot. Colton Lanford will finish 18th. Trevor McManus ends up backing out and finishing 19th. Mark Holyfield is 20th. Then James Goshen rounds out the 21 drivers here on the field tonight. Folks, we're going to take one quick commercial break and be right back with our podium finishers.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Well, folks, welcome back to Iowa Speedway. You just basically watched dominance once again with the number 8 of Andy Kurtz. He ends up getting the win here tonight. And we're going to go ahead and see if we can bring him in right here. Matter of fact, we got the man himself. Mr. Andy Kurtz gets the 3-peat done here at Iowa. Andy, I'm telling you right now, it looked like it was a great race for you out there. It looked like you was able to be able to move or maneuver that car basically wherever you wanted. But tell us about, the battle with Jake Ellingson, because it looked like, honestly, he was really your only competition tonight. Tanner Bethea, he was up there as well, but it looked like Jake Ellingson was really your only competition tonight.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Jake was really good. Just like last week, he had a really good long run speed. That first run, I kind of lost him. I was trying to hunt around a little too much on the track, and after we pit there, that first caution, and got some new tires, and that was to the bottom. That was really working. So I was really learning some stuff behind him, and I don't know that I could have passed him without making a mistake. So I was just trying to stay right behind him in case he slip up or have a bobble. So beat him off pit road, and then figured that maybe be the easiest way to pass him. So glad to get it done again. Tanner was awesome racing there at the end, so he was really quick on a short run there. So he has a good race.
Yeah, I mean, we brought Tanner up in the booth and basically told him to, he said, yeah, I got some pretty good tires, so maybe I can go out there and burn them down and try to get to him. And I give him a reference to Jason Aldean of burning it down, but maybe he didn't. He either didn't burn them down enough, or he might have, burned them up too much. Not real sure exactly on that, but I mean, coming into the season, obviously the wild card at Daytona, you win that one. You win Gateway last week, then you win Iowa. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. I mean, hell, what can you not win at this point? I mean, I'm just curious because I've never really seen a dominance like this in the first 3 races of a season in any league that I've broadcasted.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, I think a couple guys could have won last week and this week, so things just kind of worked out. Just gotta stay mistake free. So that's really, I think that's what made it a lot easier for me to win these past 2 races was just not making mistakes, which we all do. So yeah, glad to get 3 in a row. I think Kansas is next week, so I'm definitely know we've had short tracks here, but I'm definitely more of a 1.5 mile guy. So I'm looking forward to Kansas, getting back on a bigger track.
If I don't scare the rest of the field, I don't know what does. But Andy Kurtz ends up getting win. Andy, you know how to do it, brother. You've been doing it for 3 weeks right here. Go ahead and give out your shout outs for your sponsors and anybody that made this possible.
Thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Once again, doing an awesome broadcast for us. Been really enjoying your broadcast, so I'll go be watching this one in a little bit. Everyone at Nazareth 360 Racing Network. I want to thank Pat and Jamie and Jake for putting this series on for us within Goat Locker. And I want to thank Veterans for Life Foundation, Cruising Classics, Jam Printing and Promotions, Right Now Roofing, and Red Beer Design Company.
Well, and then one thing I'm going to throw at you, Andy, right now, I'm going to throw a wild card right now because everybody always asks the same questions. But who was your favorite broadcaster on the Nazareth Network?
Oh man, I mean, I think that's it, man. That's a loaded question.
Yeah,
so
it's your call, my friend. Speak from the heart, my friend. I'm gonna call it because
don't make him answer
I
that.
just can't. Yeah, come on.
Hey, you two complement each other really well. I don't know anyone else. I guess there's a lot more than you guys out there on that.
Just say the redneck announcer. Come on, Jacob.
No, you guys are awesome. So yeah, appreciate what you do, and it's always fun talking to you after the race. I hope to do it again next week.
Do you think this, by the way, real quickly, that with you and Jake battling at the start of the race, like, do you think that you still had this one in the bag, my friend? Because you know, it seems to me you have this race under control until the very dying stages of this race, and then you just put the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to be patient the first run. It was really easy getting loose and wrecking yourself. So I was just trying to ease on into the race. And I think if we would have got a real long run, that I was feeling good that second run behind him. So yeah, I don't know if a bump and run would have, if that would have been the only thing to pass him. I don't know if I would have been able to do it, but that would have been a thought on the last lap. So, but other than that, he was lights out. So.
All right, final question. I'm going to throw one in there. I usually throw these questions in. I apologize there, Jacob. Have you seen the Netflix NASCAR series?
Yeah, just finished
there you go.
Watching it last night. Yeah.
And what'd you think?
I thought it was very good.
Don't ruin it for me. I ain't seen it yet.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it captured the playoffs pretty well. Would have liked to see some other drivers maybe being featured on it, but
there was other drivers, of course, featured on it. And do you think that the NASCAR commentators are better than the ones that are actually on the network?
Dang, what are you getting at?
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, but it was great. It was a great series.
Andy, appreciate your time, brother. Congratulations on the 3-peat. And hell, who knows at this point? I got a feeling we'll be talking to you next week in Kansas.
Hope so. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And, Dean, I mean, that was Andy Kurtz. And, to be honest with you, I mean, he can be a fan favorite here in the Veterans for Life ARCA series because he's very humble. He's, just out there, he's basically just doing his, just basically doing his job. I guess you could say, granted, it's not a job, it's a hobby, but he's just doing, what he needs to do out here on the racetrack to try to get out here, get the win. So very, very humble Andy Kurtz getting the 3-peat here this evening.
Absolutely, my friend. Who do you want to bring in next? Of course, to this one.
I believe we're going to bring in Mr. Tanner Tanner Bethea up here in the booth. And Tanner, I don't know if it was my fault that ended up costing you this win or not, because I couldn't figure out which chat y'all was in, because there was about 3 of the race comms deals that I was trying to put you in, brother. So my apologies on that. But hopefully that is not what because I mean, you had a shot right there at Andy Curtis, and we really thought you was going to be able to get to him. But I mean, what more could you have done to try to get the win here tonight? Tanner, you got a copy, buddy?
I think Tanner might be muted
Yep,
at the
yep.
moment. Oh, sorry, Tanner,
I
go
got
ahead.
There he is.
Did you hear what Jacob said?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
ahead.
I feel like he just saved a little bit more than me. He was definitely smarter than me. Felt like he saved a little more on the first couple laps, and I was just burning it up. I knew he was faster than me, and got a little too impatient. No, y'all didn't mess me up too bad. I wasn't talking in there anyways. I had all of them muted. I had to mute them every other caution, or I had one unmuted. But y'all didn't mess me up at all.
Well, I mean, you come out here. I mean, you ran good last week at Gateway. You come out here, you do good here at Iowa. I mean, this is kind of a short track thing right here. Because you're out here busting tail out here at short tracks, and I mean, you're doing a fantastic job at that. But we're going to Kansas next week, which is way different. I mean, granted, Gateway's not necessarily a short track, but we classified it as that because of the corner speeds and everything. But I mean, going to Kansas next week, what's your outlook going into that race?
I actually have no clue. Kind of like with this track. I mean, I just bought it this week. Ran about a couple laps, and that's pretty much it. Kansas, never ran it before. I'm not sure I'm gonna do in it, but I did pretty good in this. This is my second time ever racing here. I'll try to put in some more practice. Maybe Andy won't whoop me too bad next week.
All righty, well, Tanner Bethea ends up getting second tonight. Hard fought second place finish. And Tanner, before we let you go, if you got anybody that you want to thank that made this second place finish possible here tonight.
Well, I'd like to thank my parents, grandparents, everybody that supports me, and I'd like to shout out Veterans for Life, Cruising Classics, Jam Printing and Promotions, Right Now Roofing, and Red Beard Design Company, and especially y'all. Y'all put on an amazing show and gives me something to go back and see what I could have corrected, and it helps me a lot. Y'all do a really good job. My family loves y'all. Y'all do a really good job. They said they get a good crack up. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, appreciate that, Mr. Bethea. Appreciate that, Tanner. And appreciate you, family, for watching the broadcasts. We always try to entertain in any way that we can. Ain't that right, Dean?
Absolutely, my friend. I hope that they enjoy the redneck caster and the Aussie from down under as well. And that one. So good job.
The
my friend.
Australian. That's the way I still look at it.
Australia.
The Australian.
Yeah, Australia.
Australian. There you go. All right, Tanner, congratulations on the second place finish, and hopefully we'll see you at Kansas next week, brother.
All right, man. See you.
That was Tanner Bethea. Awesome, awesome, to see him get up here, get him 2 solid finishes. Obviously, not the finishes that he wants, Dean, but able to get up here. And folks, I mean, he wants a win. Obviously, hell, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to get up there and try to win the race. But still, second's not that bad, Dean. I mean, hell, you told me that a couple of weeks ago, or when I finished second, Robbie Richards at Homestead. Second ain't that bad.
Mate, my friend, if you win all season long and you get twos, right? At the end of the day, the championship's going to be counted by points. So It doesn't really matter if you get twos. At the end of the day, tally those twos together, you win championship. So it's a little disappointing you don't get the trophy sometimes put in your cabinet, but it doesn't win championships. What wins championships, my friend, is consistency. That's what Tanner is proving.
Yes, sir. He's been able to be very, very consistent right here in the first 3 races. We'll see if he can keep that consistency at Kansas. Granted, he said, he hasn't really had a lot of experience there, but I got a feeling he's going to be up front next week when the Veterans for Life ARCA Series goes there. And let's go ahead and bring up Jamie Mullins in the number 66. He's up here in the booth with us. And Jamie, what a race, brother. Tell us about it.
Yeah, how about that? First podium this season. So, actually, it was a really, really fun race. This track is awesome in these cars. Burnt my tires up trying to keep up with them fast guys. Kind of got a little old looking at the bumper of that 8, but you know how it goes.
Yeah, Andy talked about it. Obviously, trying to be able to hold on his tires. Tanner was able, to. He was in the same boat. Everybody basically burning tires up. And I was telling Dean about this a while ago that the middle lane was really the lane that I guess you wanted to be in if you didn't want to be bumped around, I guess you could say, because I thought we rode on board with you one time and you was on the bottom side and you was just bouncing around like a basketball. Did that play into your strategy, especially trying to take some passes in 1 and 2 because of the bumps in 1 and 2 at the top and the bottom? Did that play into your strategy any in this race?
Yeah, it definitely did. You have to kind of play with the throttle, make sure you're over the bump before you get back into it, especially early on. Otherwise, it'll just spin around. But this track is so hard to pass in. The outside is really fast, but it's hard for the inside car to get to make a pass when a car is on the outside of it because they get such a run. So you have to make them early. Uh, it ended up just playing really into my hands. 'Cause, you had Trevor up there. I guess he the early cautions. He decided it's better to go watch a movie with his wife, and I don't blame him a bit. Done the same thing on that, and then of course Jake. Between the 27 and the 8, I was just trying to learn as much as I could back behind them, burning my stuff up trying to keep up with them. So. In the end, due to attrition or whatever happens, lucked into a third place.
The way I look at it, brother, luck. In racing, yeah, it happens, but it was a hard fought third place finish. You was able to get up there and battle it out with the best of them. So congratulations on that. And before we let you go, Mr. Mullins, have you got anybody that you want to thank that made this third place finish possible tonight?
Yeah, first off, Goat Locker Racing. Been with them for a little while now. Pat, Jamie, these guys are awesome. It's a awesome league. If anybody's out there looking for a league to join, man, you talk about a fun league. Y'all, NASRA 360. I cannot wait to go back and watch these broadcasts. I watch them every time, and y'all put on an awesome show. My main sponsor on the car right now, roofing, Jamie Perkins and the Veterans for Life Foundation. That is an awesome foundation. I'm glad to be a part of that. Cruising Classics, Jam Printing and Promotions, and of course Red Beard Design Company.
Jamie Mullins, congratulations on the third place finish. Hopefully we can, or hopefully you can carry some momentum, ride it all the way into Kansas next week, brother. Appreciate your time and congratulations on the third place finish.
Thank y'all, sir. Appreciate it.
That was Jamie Mullins. He said he kind of looked into it, Dane. I don't know about that. Like I said, luck counts in this sport, but skill's got a lot to do with it as well.
I think you're right. Got to be in it to win it, my friend, and he was in it to win it by far. He was in this whole thing. He gained one position as well, too. One position doesn't seem like a lot, but one position is because you qualified well and you drove well through all the cautions, which we had a bunch of them, but it's what it's all about, isn't it? Andy, of course, will be celebrating that one. Tanner, of course, getting those 5 positions. And more about those drivers going into the next round. And Jacob, of course, the next round, looking at that calendar, how's it going to pan out?
It's going to be a fantastic deal right here, honestly. With the next couple of races coming up, you got Kansas, obviously, next week. That's going to be, basically bread and butter for me because I absolutely love that track. Then you go to Nashville Super Speedway, similar to Iowa, very, very similar to Iowa. That's going to be a fun race. And then, obviously, Watkins Glen, that's going to be right in your wheelhouse because, road
left
course.
and right. Yes.
Yeah. That's in your wheelhouse. I'm not real good at road courses, and hopefully we can learn something from you on some of these road courses coming up there. You see Dover, Atlanta. Obviously, those 2 tracks is going to be absolutely crazy, to say the least. Great schedule. And one thing I got to tip my hat to is everybody, with Goat Locker, especially with the schedule, is where they finish it at. The Milwaukee Mile in these ARCA cars, absolute great place to finish off the season right here for this ARCA series. Absolutely a blast to see that race right there. Hopefully everybody will tune in to the NASRA 360 Racing Network on May 9th to check that bad boy out. But Dean, closing thoughts here at Iowa. What'd you think?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. It was a cracking race, of course. Lots of cautions, but then again, opportunities. A little bit of disappointment for some of those top guns, but then again, that's what happens in a short course, as you mentioned, just shy of a mile. Milwaukee Mile will be one of those championships. One thing I'm actually noticing in here, I'm sure that would be frustrating you big time, right, Jacob? I know that for a fact, and I think everybody out there in the chat would know that for a fact. Guess what track is not featured on the calendar? You're grinding your teeth, aren't you? You're grinding your teeth at the moment on that one. But it is what it is. It's not Bathurst, of course. It's going to be anyway. But then look at that. We have a string of fantastic races. Jacob, over to you. Last thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, and the track, folks, he's talking about is Talladega, because I absolutely love that track. And matter of fact, I mean, we talked to Tyler Detmer about it, within the NASRA 360 Racing Network, and he was tickled to death to see it, or to not see it on there, which, I mean, hell, he ain't even running in this series. But anyway, that's beside the point. Folks, it was a fantastic race here tonight at Iowa, and it's going to be a fantastic couple of weeks right here. We're going to see who can knock Andy Kurtz off of the throne, see who can get the win after he pulls the three-peat tonight. Obviously, everybody within the NASRA 360 Racing Network want to thank them, Cody Knott, Brady LaBeouf, everybody, like I said, within the NASRA 360 Racing Network that allow us to come out here on a Thursday night, entertain you, the fans, family members, friends, however you want to look at it. We're blessed to be able to do this every single Thursday night, and hopefully you enjoy the broadcast as much as we do putting it on. I want to thank the drivers as well, because without them, we wouldn't be doing a broadcast. We wouldn't be able to broadcast anything. So thank the drivers for obviously putting on one hell of a show. Everybody within Goat Locker, Patrick Drabick, everybody within the Goat Locker Racing Series, all those guys for what they do to make this league what it is. And obviously the sponsors, Veterans for Life, Jam Printing and Promotions, Cruising Classics, all the sponsors that have everything put into this right here and make this what it is. Folks, it's going to be a good one here coming up next week at Kansas. Until then, be safe, be kind, and be fast. And we'll see you at Kansas next week with Dorothy and Toto out there in Kansas. Date, it's going to be a good one next week. NASRA 360 Racing Network on February the 8th at 8 p.m. For Dean Biggles, the Australian from down under, I am the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. We'll see you in Kansas next week.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea.